StarCraft 2 fans, we are back here at SSL Premier. Going into our third match of the night, it's going to be herO versus aLive for a PVT. Both these guys not having the best start to SSL Premier. They're both sitting at 1-3. One of them hoping to move up in the standings tonight.
Yeah, it's a little bit odd to see herO this week. The expectations we had for herO, I should say, was much higher based on his dominant performance in Classic and Challenge. The other herO in Classic, by the way, the Zerg player, did quite well. But that's another story for another time. And herO, you know, he came into this one, he got crushed by Innovation in his first series, and we said, okay, well, Innovation's defending champion, right? That's not the end of the world, but I just feel like, you know, sure, he took the 2-1 over Dark, but he lost to Solar. And I just feel like I don't know what's missing for him. Maru had the snipe builds against him in the TVP matchup, and he was missing something, you know, when he faced off against Solar. Solar having the better matchup. Yeah, missing sleep in this case, but I don't know. I mean, if we can't take the series against aLive, we really have to change our expectations for herO going into this round robin, because he's massively the favorite here, and he has a good PVT, and I don't think aLive will be able to do what Maru did and throw the curveball, the anti-Phoenix Adept play into the ring.
Yeah, herO looks like he's getting better in terms of his form nowadays. You go over to Shanghai, it's not one of those other foreign tournaments where you get to crush foreign nerds. You got to go up against all these other Koreans, and he did quite well, right? He went all the way to the finals, did lose to the sexy boy, but I mean, it's kind of hard to beat that guy, to be honest, especially nowadays. And aLive over here was able to defeat Solar, as we were talking about, a very nice game. Good best of 3 that he was playing. Solar going to be kicking himself for that one.
Yeah, just really good play, and he played to his style. That's what aLive does best, and somewhat predictable as a result. He ends up with a very weak indicator score here. He's down in 9th place with a 2-7, -5, the same indicator score going into today that Biel had. In order to prevent himself from getting last place, so at least have to take a map in this best of 3. Not entirely sure if it's going to happen, though. Let's see if herO will be able to use his normal style, or if he's made adaptations since showing weaknesses there against Maru last week.
Yeah, so guys, it looks like we're almost ready to jump into Abyssal Reef for map number 1. Get out there with your hashtag herO win or your hashtag aLive win, wherever you want to post that for your favorite player. So let's jump into game number 1, herO versus aLive on Abyssal Reef. Fly, better fly, Jin Air. Up in the top right, left, it is the yellow Protoss, herO.
And his opponent to the bottom right in blue, it is aLive. And remember that herO has just off of recently traveling. He played the deepest part of IEM Shanghai, as you said, going to the grand finals. So would explain the tiredness, right? You're traveling a lot, preparing a lot for different matchups, and going through the grind of a Western event, you know, working basically there to build his run through IEM, right? Sure, it was in China, so not a lot of jet lag here, but again, he just got back, probably went to the after party, you know, had a lot of fun with the ESL employees, his teammates, or former teammates, I should say. You know, there are a lot of shots. A lot of the cool parts of IEM Shanghai specifically is that the player area is so close to the spectators, and you can actually see shots of them. One of my favorite moments in this Shanghai was actually watching Gumiho actually discuss builds with Bjorn. There was a camera shot where they were talking for quite some time during a commercial, you know, about how the match went, or looking at a replay together. It was really fun to see that side of it. But you're busy, you're tired, and now you're back in Korea. You're back on your practice schedule that is for a completely different tournament, for a specific matchup where your opponent is well rested. And it looks like he's already got a build prepared here at least, but we might be seeing proxies on both sides here, Valdez.
Yeah, this is going to get a little bit strange, and I wonder what it will be from aLive. Maybe he's just waiting for that extra minerals after putting down the CC. We'll see if he puts down that factory over there on the left side. Doesn't? Okay, there it is, finally putting it down. And there's going to be, obviously, the Stargate here, but the Reaper's going straight for it. This is going to be instantly scouted. Ugh.
Uh-oh. Took a big risk, and scouts coming out here. Had aLive just set the Reaper directly across the map and checked for the less likely proxy locations. We should never expect someone to really proxy this close to you, right? But if you had seen that, it would have been better off. But this Zealot, the rare Zealot in the early game, is going to at least delay the CC. That's one advantage that herO can muster out. The Stargate will finish. The pylon is protected by the Zealot as well, so it's somewhat of a contingency plan for herO. The Stargate will complete, but the bigger problem is not that the Stargate couldn't finish. That wasn't what he was concerned about. It's more about the follow-up here, going to be the bunker coming up now and the engineering bay. The answer, the vision of the Stargate gives aLive such an inherent advantage.
Well, here we go, bunker coming down, but the pylons will come down as well. Not much else outside of this Reaper. Finally, a couple of Marines make it over, but the bunker is going to be canceled here as the SCV was killed.
Yeah, he needed that so badly. Now the Mothership Core is here, and know about it or not, this is still a very difficult attack to stop when you don't have your factory at home, you don't have a Cyclone. And for herO, he sees the base is empty. He knows this is a great opportunity to find a large amount of damage. Doesn't actually target the SCV, though, that's building the turret here, so it will eventually finish and warded away. 7 SCV kills. He's stopping production here. aLive, this entire crux of this build is going to be in the proxy, but unfortunately, herO, even though he doesn't know where it is or exactly what it is, he knows it's out there because this base is too empty to be true.
Yeah, you can see the second Oracle is going to be heading back home as well as that first one. So he's dealt with this before, facing off against Maru. He says, okay, aLive, you've done your research. You are going to go for the Cloak Banshees, but this time he knows. And aLive also, to add insult to injury, is going to lose that reactor. Not the greatest spot. Trying to find some harass damage with this Reaper.
Looks like the Oracle's out of energy, I suppose. The second one should have enough, though. Okay, the first one just got some. I guess just out on both, surprisingly, or not wanting to use it. Either way, this Reaper is getting way too many kills. Like, how is this happening? The Reaper gets 5 kills and just walks out casually. Not even going to take the jump down. He's like, I'll take the ramp. See you later. The all-access ramp here for the Reaper as he leaves. Takes a few pot shots onto the Nexus. The cloak is almost done. And the reason why he doesn't want to use the Oracle energy there is because he knows that he's going to need to reveal the Cloak Banshees that come. So that's one of the reasons. But if he had hit the shot, I think at least using one of the reveals there would have been nice. Because, oh no, now he's going the wrong way.
The timing of this is impeccable from aLive. He comes on in. Here will be the cloak, but the reveal already comes down. Trying to get as many kills as possible. Will be 4. The cloak was not finished as well, so.
Needs detection for the Widow Mine, by the way. And, I mean, let's see how this all pans out. Is that the Hyperflight Rotors upgrade? I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, I haven't seen that, actually.
I've, like, never seen that. Is it like a changed icon?
Yeah, I don't know.
I remember Caduceus Reactor. It didn't look like that, but it was canceled. He just wanted
to fake
cyborg
eye or something.
Fake research. I suppose to make it look like Cloak wasn't finished. I think maybe that was the idea.
That's
either way,
next level idea.
Either way, I can't tell you guys what that is right now. I'll have to look it up later. Probably an updated art or something. But gets 3 more probe kills, 4th one here. And the game's going to stabilize, actually, after the crazy early game. The overcharge, he saved his barracks, lost some SCVs. The Banshees went down, didn't get as much damage as aLive would have hoped, but Phoenixes are out now. This is going to be a camped set of buildings. Just going to fly the factory away.
Here, you can have my factory, but not my life. Just giving that one away to the Phoenixes. Not, that will eventually go down. And Marine's going to come over here. We do see the follow-up from herO will be, in fact, the Glaives upgrade, Resonating Glaives. So wants to follow this up with a Warp Prism, lots of gateways, and a bunch of Adepts to go up against this mainly Marine army that we do see on the side of aLive. He's got 12 Marines. The stim is going to be late. We'll have +1, though, by the time this attack does make it across the map.
Factory lands here to delay the inevitable. This is definitely going to be canceled, obviously, for aLive, but he just wants to keep the attention of the Phoenixes away. How many gateways does he have before the 2? I think only just 2, right? 3. Okay, so he's going to have 5 gateways with this. That'd be quite a powerful attack. aLive not willing to salvage this bunker either. And actually, the Stargate units leave the starport alone. Perhaps he wants to, this is getting like really meta, but perhaps he's like, aha, you think I didn't watch your starport, but actually I'm going to go get the kill. He does cancel it at the last moment, so everyone's thinking one step ahead here in this little mind game. You see the Prism is going to be the reinforcement tactic here for herO when he does move across the map with these Adepts. The wall's nearly tight.
Yeah, and you can see that this is the follow-up from herO because he sustained so much damage from that Reaper and other harass. He's just like, okay, I'm just going to try to kill you with this Air Force that I already have, and to follow up. He's not making any more probes after 30, just sitting on 2 bases. He's not trying to macro up, no 3rd base in sight. He just wants to overpower with mainly just Adept Phoenix. And you can see that a wall is coming up already at the front for aLive, so we aren't going to just have the free shade in from herO, and he is going to see this now.
Salvage is actually the bunker. I feel like the bunker is one of the strengths of this because the Phoenixes can't do anything against in there. Scans the 3rd, sees it's empty, and doesn't have a lot of units in the main base here. The Prism could actually split the army of aLive into 2 groups here.
He's going into the main right now. He's going to elevator. Here we go. The warping as well. The elevator begins, and a stasis ward comes down too.
Oh, triggers it very nicely here with the single Marine. Does have this large Bioforce with stim, but the Widow Mines can't get into position here. SCVs are pulled. Here's the lifts. I feel like bunkers are so strong against this because the lifts, you know, you're coming into so many Marines, but still, a lot of bio coming in. The reinforcements as well, but this is just too much Protoss. See if he can continue to snowball this, though. Is the Prism still alive? I don't think somebody has the Mothership Core here.
Yeah, he lost that Prism, which is huge, and Liberators are coming out, but still 3 Phoenixes remain, so he needs to get in position to take those out. The Shade, though, into the natural. He's decimating this economy once again, down to 20
But look
SCVs.
at this. Probes being killed on the other side of the map. He doesn't have any answers for those either.
The Phoenixes aren't going home either. He's keeping them over here at the main base of aLive, so committing entirely to this attack, saying, hey, okay, you can kill my economy, but it'll be still better than yours, I suppose.
Yeah, now the Stalkers come out, unfortunately. Those Banshees out of Cloak Energy. Combat Shields finish. The +1 armor finishes, but these would have been upgrades that would have been so much more important when the attack hit. Also, remember, the bunker that was salvaged earlier meant that the Shades that came from the main base to the natural were more effective. aLive just didn't see this coming. Shade completes here, and you have to think that is going to be game over. Nothing left for aLive. 3 Marines on the way, but that's going to be it. Even with the Widow Mine shot, there's just no way out. GG.
Yeah, killed more of aLive stuff than his own. So at the end of the day, Adept Phoenix is the way, and herO even laughing himself. He's like, I can't believe that actually worked. On 30 probes, comes in with the elevator into the main. aLive, unfortunately, no spotter over there, did not react to it in time, and just way too many Adepts in position to deal with that. And yep, not a good feeling for all our Terran players out there, I assure you. But herO, he's happy, it seems.
I just feel like that that whole scenario was like so risky by herO. I can't even really. I can't take his build and hold it up on high and say this is the way to handle this situation. This is what you should have done. If the bunker's in position or aLive sees the Prism coming over, this just simply does not work. He finds himself down on probes, no 3rd base available. Combat shields finishes, he gets into a worse position. aLive just misread the situation. He had the wall coming up. The Phoenixes came and kept denying the wall, which should have been maybe a first tell of, okay, something weird's going on here. Then when he salvaged the bunker, I was like, okay, he really doesn't know what's coming.
Yeah, he just wasn't expecting it. And even after the scan, the response time was very slow. He didn't have any spotters over there, no supply depot, nothing to see that coming in. And when you have the wall set up, the Phoenixes, they can't come in. The Oracles, they can't burst down the supply depots. It's not like Banelings, right? So you keep some of your Marines over there at your only other vulnerable spot, and you make sure that a Warp Prism cannot hit you. I think, as you were saying, he just realized it too late.
Yeah. Well, our second map here is going to be Odyssey, so another big one. We'll see if aLive can bring it back as we go into game number 2, or is herO going to close it out with a 2-0 score?
Odyssey will be your second map here for this series. Up in the top left, the yellow Protoss, it is herO.
And down to the bottom right, in blue, is of course aLive. So I have the answer to the million-dollar question earlier about the starport research. What we saw there, for those who are the most knowledgeable of upgrade names and types, was the recalibrated explosives upgrade, which gives the seeker missile tracking 50% extra range from 13 to 19.5 and also boosts its damage by 30%. So, mystery solved, case closed. It was a fake. He was definitely never planning on using that. And
too bad.
Now I know what it is, and now I know what that icon looks like. So if we ever see the seeker missile upgrade in the late game, I'll be like, oh yeah, recalibrated explosives. I'm very familiar. Well, we see a proxy here, by the way, in this game. So,
but herO with the early scout.
Yeah.
So he comes over here, he will see no barracks, he will see double gas, and he's like, okay, I know exactly what this is. So good scout here from herO. Odyssey, definitely a map where you can hide a bunch of stuff and be very tricky, but this will not be hidden from herO's eyes anymore. Already the Zealot starts.
Ooh, doesn't see the second gas, though. And I wonder, with 2 gas, obviously you can just make non-stop Reapers, but I was going to say, I think the bigger story here might be the SCV, if it gets away here, whether he makes a factory afterwards with this extra gas that he's going to have available, what he plans on using this for. SCV goes into the main base. First Reaper is going to come out and get a really good scout. Factory is going up at home, but doesn't necessarily mean if this SCV gets out, he doesn't make the starport out somewhere on the map. If that's his plan, right? We saw him do it in game 1. Could repeat this here. It's one of the reasons why morrow was able to take the series against herO last week. So Reaper comes in, will get the scout off. Reaper here for protection, and I love this edition of the eBay block. Right now, herO's like, okay, I think I held this, I scouted it, I don't know what you're doing, so I'm just going to expand, but now he can't until he deals with that eBay.
Hasn't even seen it yet. You know, this is going to be built up. Surprised that he doesn't even stay for longer. But we did have that factory finish up in the SCV going down to the bottom left. Will he build anything else? There it is, the starport out on the map, and what a strange build we have from aLive tonight. The barracks out there, the factory in the main, and then the starport out on the map.
That is one nefarious SCV, Valdez. He's doing everything that will make a Protoss mad in this game.
The Protoss came over and killed his family early on. He's looking for revenge.
Yeah. With his trucker hat and all, it's the revenge story of the SCV.
He might do it all by himself.
Yeah.
He's the one that created the problem.
Well, eBay not canceled, actually. That's one small mistake. Can't be too critical about things like this, but
he wants to give herO a false sense of security, perhaps. Saying, hey, oh yeah, I'm in a good spot. I don't have to worry about anything except those Banshees in your back door.
Well, he also did kill the probe that was hidden around the right side that was looking for potentially a starport. It was next to, you know, like gold base, but I don't think that was the plan. This is the important scout. So he checks the right side with the probe, sees the Banshee fall, but now he's just like, all right, just like last time, I'm never going to use my Oracle to defend anything. I'm just going to save the energy. I have a Phoenix out, and your Banshees aren't going to do anything. In fact, aLive starts a Raven, rallies at home, wants to at least get something out of this investment in the starport and the tech lab. Then we'll probably see the lift to send it home, and maybe he'll be able to get it all the way home this time, unlike the last set where the Phoenixes tracked it down.
I think it's unlikely. I'm kind of surprised that he does go for the Raven out here and expects to get away with that alive as the air units are making the way over. The 2 Phoenixes are at the ready. And once you see this, you have to cancel it, and there it goes.
To cancel it.
stim coming up, and he'll just go for a delayed infantry follow-up. But good start here for herO. Didn't take all too much damage from that early Reaper that came out. I think it was only one probe that he got, and the CC in the main, very safe, going to be delaying that mining, whereas herO already getting some of his tech up, did make that robotics facility as well as his second Nexus.
Yeah, with the Zealot killing this tech lab here, we're never going to see any recalibrated explosives in this game, sadly.
So sad. I wish we could.
Look at this bay, though. That bay is bay for herO. It's going to be his next level of tech. He wants to skip the Glaives upgrade, skip the Adepts entirely, and go into the high tech. With the double forge going down, this already lets us know it's going to be Colossi and not Disruptors. He knows with the defensive advantage he had here, and now his lead in probes, his situation where basically aLive can't harass him, can't hurt him in any way. Taking a third base with the Colossi is going to be his next move, and he wants to do so with the forge upgrades to kind of carry this advantage forward. It's very greedy, but if he can get the first two Colossi out, he holds the third base against almost anything. And it's not like he's doing this just blind, saying, I hope he doesn't attack me. He has the Phoenix pressure on his opponent. He's looking for it, and wow.
Well, he didn't want to wait until the starport got all the way home, right? So he's like, okay, I'll bring it away from the Protoss' base so it's still safe, but it's in a weird spot on the map, which makes it kind of funny. But we'll probably pop out a couple of medevacs, as he doesn't know about the Colossi just yet. We'll need some medevacs in this army composition as well, but liking herO's position, he's not going for that third base just yet. He's playing it very safe. This is kind of old school style, you know, two base Protoss versus the Terran. Waits for that third base, and eventually does get it up. The scan, though.
That's a beautiful scan. It gives him so much information. So now the starport is so important. He needs to make sure that's never scouted. Now that he knows that it's there, try to ward these Phoenixes away. If, for example, the Phoenix is fine and camp that starport, he has to make another one. He's not going to have medevacs or Vikings to deal with the Colossus comp. The third base, he'll never be able to deal with without that.
The Cyclones, they pushed him to the starport.
He's going to find it.
Okay, he's going to see it.
This is a big issue. He sees it, and sure, aLive is in position to force these units away right now, but later on that's going to be a factor. Let's kind of bookmark this thought for a little bit longer. As the attack does come across, he wants to hit this as soon as he can before the Colossi get out, before the second one pops in. You remember, that's the big power spike with the Colossi. You get two with range, you defend the bio when there's no Vikings, almost bar nothing.
Look at this. They're passing like two ships in the night. Here comes aLive into the natural immediately. herO, he's going to respond. He needs to get back at home. Those Winnomites, they're burrowing. It's going to be close. Tries to split. Nicely done at the very last moment, but still just trying to take as little damage as possible now as aLive moves into the main.
Yeah, there's just nothing here at all. He moved across the map, which is the one thing he couldn't do when aLive hit this base. He didn't know aLive was there, so felt comfortable to move over to try to punch that starport, but now finding himself unpowered on gateways, 17 probes down, and this puts aLive in a massive SCV lead. He was also able to, during all of this, continue to produce from the starport. The only thing he's really missing is a third CC, which isn't arguably absolutely necessary in this case with all the damage he's been able to do. He also slowed down that second Colossus, slowed down the Thermal Lance upgrade, things that are very important for herO to hold on a follow-up push. He's going to try to use this Warp Prism actually to shut down, but already spotted. Cyclone's going to go for the snipe move here. No way this one gets out. The lock-ons are here. May have to scan to complete them.
Well, he does have the medevac to chase it down, but
yeah, I guess
it's going to be close. And there you go. So at least there was nothing in the medevacs. Didn't have to drop it on out. That extended thermal lance has been at 1.1 for a while. Finally, it's going to complete. And he does have two Colossi now to deal with this follow-up push. This time it's coming towards the third, but you can see where herO keeps his army because he's a little bit paranoid. Looks like he may have seen it at this point, though, as he is moving over towards that third base for the defense.
Yeah, definitely pretty warranted paranoia, though, because aLive could hit either side at any moment. He doesn't have the vision he used to. The Prism got shut down. and he doesn't have the ability to try to use that Prism to keep aLive at bay. That was the whole idea behind the Prism. Now that it's sniped, he's missing that extra potential threat. Good probe pull here is going to trigger this with just the one. The Colossi here, somewhat vulnerable. aLive doesn't stim in because he sees the sentries. He knows that an overcommitment could be disastrous. Just going to try to catch some transferring probes here. Try to force the mistake out of herO. And actually, he outmaneuvers him. Force field's late here. No way to stop this bio from hitting the third base. He lifts up a large force. He's trying to use the horseshoe effect here. Grab those probes, drop in the main base, and looks like we are going to a game 3 if this continues. At this rate, herO just cannot maintain his mining. GG.
Totally falling apart there at the end aLive, making the best use of that as possible, and he grabs himself a win, something he's been looking for his entire life. He wants to come back in this series, and herO with a little smirk knows that he got outmaneuvered on the map multiple times in that game. Even the Phoenixes not there to stop the drop. They were just kind of out on the map. I think he wanted to go for that starport that was in a weird spot, try to stop any follow-ups with any of the medevacs, but it didn't pay off. Would have liked to have those for his main for the defense, but yeah, the Colossi not coming out, and aLive hits a nice timing. herO with a small mistake, moving out at the wrong time.
Yeah, aLive said, okay, I saw that you're playing greedy, and I want to move across the map and pressure you. It wasn't supposed to be that easy, because herO was supposed to buy time. It was supposed to use those Phoenixes to maybe harass, draw the army back. It looked like herO just tried to do a little bit too much. Shut down the starport and take a third base and go Colosso with a few gateway units and few gateways and also get Thermal Lance and also get 2 forages. And it's like, well, at some point you can't do literally everything.
In the booth? Yeah. Is that creator? Like, what is this? Is this, 2014?
Feels like it a little bit there. So had to do a little bit of everything there, and the idea was good until he just simply wasn't there to stop the push. Could have bought time there, got that second Colossus out, got the Thermal Lance, and defending that third base becomes more realistic. Either way, we're going to a third game now, and it was a little bit dirty, what we've seen so far in both of these games. Game number 3, we're heading to Ascension to Ire. So yet another large map, Valdez.
We'll see if herO, he can play it a little bit more solid this time around, or will aLive's very threatening style, his brutal style, the non-stop attacks, the backdooring, will that get the best of herO here? Because, as you said before, it's a little bit predictable. He should know that aLive likes to go for these kinds of attacks, and he needs to keep his army in position and try to play a straight-up game against this player. So, looks like the map is ready, guys. We're going to jump into herO versus aLive, Game 3. Number 3 has begun, and up in the top left, it is herO.
Down to the bottom right, in blue, aLive. Found a way to slip between all the vision pieces of herO there, hitting him at his most vulnerable time while trying to expand, double forge, Colossus. The Colossi are designed to hold the third base by buying time with the sentries he built, but unfortunately did not work out. And yet again we see gas first here for aLive. And will we see 3 for 3 the proxy factory or the starport? Because that's what I'm a little bit concerned about, is when you do it 3 for 3, you have to think herO's going to be ready for this, and he's getting better against it every time. Like we saw in the last game, he didn't even make the Banshee. He was scouted so early, he made a Raven, which was also forced to cancel. It's miraculous when you think of how the game went at all that aLive was able to pull out the win, given how he opened and how little he was able to accomplish. Sure, the Reaper did a number there, but overall, it was just really him seeing, okay, herO's being greedy. That scan basically won him the game. The scan said, okay, I see you're trying to do a little bit of everything. I'm going to punish you for it. And herO was just out of position. So not going to be the proxy from aLive, though, as we are already seeing this forward pylon here. And let's see what herO is planning on doing. You have to assume, again, it's going to be the Stargate. But these are just such aggressive proxies that kind of in a way, if you're aLive, you're like, well, there's no way he puts it literally right next to me, so I don't know if we'll see it this time.
aLive, he scouted it in game 1, right? So maybe it's a little bit of that, okay, he can't do it again, can he? He can't keep getting away with this, can he? But the SCV will come in here and scout, and he only sees one pylon. Didn't get a full scout of the main, though, but I think you can kind of assume at this point, if you want to take the safe path, that something is out there. Immediately, the Reaper goes for the scout, and here we go again. So that pylon... Okay, he does scout it. There he is. Yeah. Not going to get to work on that.
No Zealot this time, and I think he's going back with the Reaper because he's like, oh, the Zealot stopped my CC last time. He's got to have it right. But actually, there is no Zealot, so the pylon is surviving. The Stargate will finish. Might have wanted to eBay block here. After seeing this Adept, he should know there's no Zealot.
But at this point, it's too late, right?
Yeah.
You can't get over there, kill that pylon in time. Not going to commit any SCVs, obviously. Just going to make a bunker and say... Okay, I'm just not going to take damage against your Oracle. Just going to make some of these missile turrets.
And in a way, if he does shut this down really hard with the Widow Mine, the bunker, and the missile turret, then he's kind of winning even harder because he didn't force herO to transition. He forced him to spend money on something that isn't going to get value. So in a way, he can kind of say, well, that's all right. Try me, you know, with the Oracle. See what you can get done. Because if you fail, you're going to regret it even worse than if you had just abandoned the plan altogether. And... Widow Mine in position here. The turret also, he's looking for maybe even Marines.
Oh, he's flying so close, it hits him. Oh, no, that was the very maximum range that he could get hit by that Widow Mine, doing absolutely 0 damage.
Well, looks like the follow-up here is either going to be a late Oracle, or sorry, late Adept Harass, or maybe even DTs, but herO is just getting shut down at every turn here.
Look at the Reaper immediately where it goes. He's going to scout this, and herO, rather, this is not solid play tonight. I mean, he's going for proxy after proxy. He's got a grin on his face as just barely his Adept Phoenix play works in game number 1. This is not the solid macro herO that we saw, you know, 3-2ing.
Oh my God!
He gets hit again. Like,
and these are not even hidden Widow locations. Both of them were. He's like, all right, what are you doing by this? Like, oh, okay, it's going to be some sort of gateway follow-up. The aLive scans are so good. You know, we used to call him, what, the scan demon, because he was so good at scanning army positioning, scanning tech structures, and things like that. I mean, you have to look at this and say, this is not a macro herO, and maybe the reason why he's playing so weak here is because he was so called out straight up by Maru, and even aLive a little bit in this series with the Cloak Banshees. He's like, well, I guess I got to change up my style, because playing the style that I literally basically won the Super Tournament with, was found out, and it's reminiscent of that, right? As he faces aLive, who was in the grand finals of that tournament, does end up making the Dark Shrine here in the main base. But
that looks like a pylon, by the way, just by the positioning. But anyway,
aLive here is just playing kind of. He's playing this safer game now, and herO looks like the gimmicky player. And when you look at who's the better player in terms of historical results and in terms of head-to-head, it's definitely herO. But in this best of 3, it feels like herO's the one who's really trying to push the envelope.
Yeah,
when aLive is consistently scouting him, he still takes the risk.
You compare it to a guy who went to Shanghai and he 3-2'd Innovation and then he 3-2'd TY. You come in here and you see him play this kind of series against aLive. This is not what we expected at all.
He's going to scout this again, maybe. Oh, it was so close.
He turned around. That was very close. So it's going to be the pylon coming down here and the Warp Prism, but I'm not sure what he can even put there at this point. I mean, he's made all of his tech back at home, and he's still going for this really kind of crazy build. There is already 2 turrets up.
Yeah, there are turrets up. I guess could try to find a window where there aren't any turrets, do some damage, and then make Archons. This is spotted, the Prism, everything by this line of sight, or sorry, Watchtower here. Just going to be the 1 DT. Maybe he hopes during the flustery of the attack he doesn't find it. But look at this. Banshee over here, no answer. Observer started here immediately, but who cares when... okay, there's already one here. Sorry, my bad. I thought he didn't have one. Still the damage is a lot,
Still doesn't
right?
matter.
I mean,
one Stalker's not enough. He can take out pretty much all of these probes, or almost all of them. He still has 2 bunkers at home. The DT goes down. This is looking like it's going to be it. And not the series I was expecting, to be honest. Going to come in here, scans that DT, does get the hot pickup on that very weak Warp Prism that took a shot from the Widow Mine, but another pylon scouted, and herO going for that very desperate kind of meek third base and says, please don't hurt me. Don't attack me, please.
Right now, herO is so blatantly obvious with how much he's trying to hide and how he is so desperate when he's behind you. Wears his emotions on his sleeve. He's like the worst kind of loud shoplifter or something. He's the worst kind of thief trying to steal this game away from aLive.
I'll just take this third base. Nobody can see me doing this right.
I mean, he's basically just trying to do everything gimmicky. He's trying to hope that aLive didn't install his security cameras correctly or he doesn't check the videotapes. But, I mean, every single thing that we've seen here from aLive. Look at this. Even the Banshee, he's like, oh, let me just use this. It's kind of like an observer for Terran in this stage when I'm so far ahead and I know you're trying to all-in me or do something weird. I scouted your DTs. I scouted you were going for the blink follow-up. I shut that down and nearly killed your Prism. What are you doing right now? Did you make a bunch of Stalkers in the middle of the map with that Prism? Let me go find out with my Banshee over here. Oh, and you can't kill it, by the way. I cloaked it. Thanks for blinking after me. And now, you know, the only thing he doesn't know is the third base, but he's got the massive army lead. The only thing he's been missing this entire time, of course, because he's been just turtling straight up with tanks and bunkers, is Stim. And if he doesn't find out about the third base, that's herO's window back into the game because aLive has been so much in his turtle shell. Looking at the security footage that the Reapers are bringing him, the Marines are bringing him, and let's see if he can discover this third base. That's the one thing that's gone undetected here for aLive.
Yeah, he's playing it very slow, very safe, and he doesn't have the upgrades to go for any kind of attack. This is still a big map. Banshee is going to swing around here. It might actually be taken out as he's trying to micro against Sentries. Not what I expected to happen in this game, but I suppose anything can happen at this point. Is going to try to go for a drop into the main at the same time, is following up with Liberators and Widowmines of his own. The scan comes down once again. He's been using those scans very liberally. Will be seeing that third base come up, but here is the push. Here's the scary moment. The stim is going to be done. No, the combat shields is done as well with the +1. So we have this blink charge kind of gateway army for herO as he doesn't have all that much tech. Just one immortal. Here we go. The Widowmines at the same time.
No reaction whatsoever because he's so concerned in the middle of the map of this Bioforce. He was focusing on the Stalker blink. While he's trying to focus one Marine at a time with Blink Stalker Harass, he's losing his mineral line here. DT protects the Stargate, but to what avail? The problem again, though, is that aLive doesn't know about the third base, and I feel like had he known about it...
He does know about it. He scanned it.
He scanned it, but why is he not focusing on it?
Yeah, that's why I'm beginning to lose my mind, because he's so far ahead at this moment, and he has the timing with 1-1 and stim and combat shields. But instead, he's like, I'll just get further ahead, and I'll take a third base. But as we know, this army of the Protoss right now is not very strong. And herO, he might give it away to him as he is looking to take an attack here in the middle of the map.
He has the armor, right? But there's Liberators set up here. He has Blink. We do have the Siege Tanks here. The Widowmine shots are amazing, though. He had no idea about those. The Zealots just go away, and so will herO in this best of 3. And even though he'll type it, I'm not entirely sure if about this game and about this series, we can say the words good game or GG. This has been messy on both sides.
It's a CG, right? It's a confusing game. I don't really know what to make of this one. As herO, he is going to charge in once again, one last effort. And he will be going down in this one. All those mules flying through the screen. GG, aLive will take the best of 3 tonight.
And we have to remember that the Shanghai champion, there are asterisks here. Tougher to prepare for a series like this with limited time. aLive having much more of it. Sitting at home, staying in Korea, preparing for this specific matchup against herO. herO played through the entire bracket of Shanghai, was focused on opponent after opponent, and of course, ultimately there, the opponent of Rogue, who did defeat him. So, you know, it's you have to think about the amount of preparation that aLive brought into this versus herO, who's coming off of that loss. Sorry, I called him a champion. I meant to say finalist there of IEM Shanghai. He waited all the way to the end of that, so it's not like he lost in the group stage and he was like, all right, well, I might as well chill with my friends here at IEM. I've got a computer set up. I'm going to be preparing for aLive. He wasn't focused on that. He was focused on IEM. Came here late. Knew that Maru had already kind of countered his strategies up against another Terran, so wanted to play things differently. But it felt like there wasn't a plan. It was more of a freestyle. So is aLive the better player of the two? I don't think based on this series you can say so, but I think what you could say is he was the better prepared player.
Yeah, and that's very important when you come into this kind of format. So definitely well-deserved. herO hoping so much to see some more consistency and just some more solid play out of this player. I mean, this was the guy that crushed Challenge. He got out in first. He didn't have to go through fast lane. He beat everybody until he faced Deer, and he did lose to him at the end of Challenge, but that was about it. So coming in here, a bit of a disappointing performance so far, as we have now pushed past the halfway point of SSL Premier 2 for the pennant race. So we'll hope that he can throw that up. But another big win for aLive, who does take 2 in a row. He's beginning to slowly claw his way back. We thought he was going to be the punching bag of SSL Premier this time around, but he's trying to prove to everybody else, as he said in his interview, that in fact, no, he is not the punching bag. It's got to be someone else. So guys, we're going to take a quick break, and then we will go into Solar versus Classic.